And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we do get into today's video, as always, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. So I hope you are all well. There's a lot to go through in today's video. As you can tell by the title, Celtic look like they're about to sign a blockbuster signing. Really, we'll discuss that in just a moment. It's a big story. I'm sure you guys all are aware. But before I do get into the main headline story of today, I do want to discuss this story as well with regards to Raul Hatate, because Celtic have reportedly knocked back an approach for Raul Hatate from Russia. The Scottish champions have declined the opportunity to enter into negotiations with an unnamed Russian side who want to sign the Japanese star. So this is according to Daily Mail, Mail Online, sources like that, and they basically say Celtic have rejected the approach due to the importance of Hatate to the team, but also due to the ongoing war in Ukraine. So at the moment, with footballing terms, there are legal and ethical difficulties with dealing with Russia, who launched an illegal war in Ukraine over 2 years, because UEFA have sanctioned Russia in European competitions, but the MIR League, the Russian league, still continues and is still ongoing. But Celtic have rejected that offer for Hatate. Now, there's no transfer fee attached to it, but obviously it probably wouldn't have been acceptable regardless. I'm not sure if they would have accepted it for more money or not, but I think Hatate is such a pivotal player for this team, and Celtic don't really want to lose him whatsoever. So yeah, good call, I think there, to be completely honest with you. I think it's a great decision not to sell Hatate. And I think as well, if you go back last summer, he was probably in more demand than he is this year, just due to the way he played the year before, but still, of course, very much sought after player. Hatate been great for us for many years now, and I'm glad that he's staying as things stand right now. I'm sure interest will kind of spike in him. If there's one team interested, there's normally quite a few teams interested, so I wouldn't be too surprised if more bids come in for Hatate, and hopefully the club keep doing that and keep rejecting those bids, because he hasn't really shown that he wants to leave. He spoke previously about where he wants to play. He wants to play in the Premier League, and I think he wants to play in Italy as well. He said he has a desire to play in Italy. But yeah, of course, I don't think he's probably too keen on a Russian move either. I'm glad that Celtic have rejected that one, because he's very important to us, and I think he'll have a breakout year. Well, I say breakout year, but I think he'll have a greater year this year than he did last year. Gets back to his best this season. I really do think he will. Of course, there's a lot of players that are linked with moves away, and I'm glad that we are rejecting those bids when we don't feel like we need to sell them. They're not necessarily, there's no reason to sell these players whatsoever. I think the main one, of course, is Matt O'Reilly, and we're still pretty firm on our decision not to sell him for below the asking price, which I'm happy to see, because the club don't really need money. The players got contracts for a long time. There's no need to sell them on a cheap or to teams that maybe Celtic don't want to deal with. But let's get into the main story of today's video, because I'm sure you guys have all seen it by now. I am relatively late on this story. It came out last night whilst I was working, so I couldn't actually get a video out, so I got it out first thing this morning. And that is that Celtic have put a bid in for Kasper Schmeichel, of course, the former Leicester City goalkeeper. So the Danish goalkeeper, who's had an illustrious career, including a stint with Leicester City under current manager Brendan Rodgers, is set to sign a 12-month contract with an option for an additional year, extending until June 2026. This weekend, Schmeichel was scheduled to undergo a medical with Celtic, with everything else seemingly ironed out. So despite receiving offers from Saudi Arabian club Al Shabab and the possibility to continue at Anderlecht, where his contract expired this summer, Schmeichel has opted for the Scottish Giants, showing a clear preference to reunite with Rodgers and potentially join forces with compatriot Matt O'Reilly, although currently, as I mentioned, O'Reilly's future is up in the air and remains uncertain given the transfer speculations about him. So this is brilliant news. When I seen this, it came out of nowhere, really. I mean, we've been linked to a whole host of goalkeepers this transfer window, and Kasper Schmeichel's name's never actually come up. And thinking back to it now, I was like, why has it never come up? He's actually a very good option for us. I know he's 37. Yeah, he's 37, so he's actually getting on a bit. And it won't be a long... he won't be at the club for many years. It might be 1 or 2 years at most. But it's very good goalkeeper. I mean, you could see his importance to that Leicester side. As soon as he was sold to Nice in France, they had... someone else, I think it was Wardenet or something like that, and they really crumbled, of course, and then you're going to end up getting relegated that year. So he's a very big figure in the team, and I think with him as well, he's like a like for like replacement of Joe Hart as well. He leads on the pitch. He's a very vocal player. You know, he was so important for Leicester for many years. Of course, won the Championship with Leicester, won the FA Cup, and of course won that brilliant Premier League in 15-16 as well. A superb career Kasper Schmeichel, of course, his dad being Peter Schmeichel was one of the best goalkeepers of all time. But yeah, him himself, he's done an illustrious career. He's been superb for all the teams that he's played for. And as I mentioned, when he left Leicester a few years ago, you could see how much it affected them by them getting relegated that same year. So this guy could be a massive, massive addition to Celtic this transfer window. And of course, he's very keen to reunite with Brendan Rodgers, who done a lot for him at Leicester, helped him win the FA Cup, get that career, get that medal as part of his trophy haul. And I think this is a great sign. And I think, looking back on the other names we've been linked with, I think he's the best option. I know, as I said, he's 37. He's getting to the twilight years of his career. He's probably got a few more years left in him. I really think this is probably the best option. We've been linked to Vindel Henson from Sparta Praha, Martin Dubravka. He's, of course, a very good keeper as well. He's 35. But if we're looking to get a goalkeeper in just for a few years, I think Kasper Schmeichel is our best bet. And it looks like this deal will happen sooner rather than later. This will be a done deal as soon as his medical gets done. So all things in motion with this, and I'm really happy with this signing. I think it's superb. I mean, he'll be here for a year or two, and then we'll try and look for a long-term replacement. Hopefully, we look for a long-term replacement whilst he's at the club, rather than letting him retire and then look again for another goalkeeper. But as a stopgap signing, I think this is superb. I think it's a really good signing, really good addition for the club. Get Kasper Schmeichel in on a year's contract, and I think he can definitely help us win many, many more trophies. And as I said, a like-for-like replacement of Joe Hart, who's so vocal, leads as well on the pitch. Kasper Schmeichel does that as well. He's a really good player, and I'm really happy with that signing. Of course, I want to know your thoughts on this signing. It's not, of course, done yet, but all things are in motion with that deal. I mean, he's getting his medical in the next few days at the club. He will sign a year contract. He will reunite with Brendan Rodgers. He'll reunite with Matt O'Reilly, his compatriot. So, yeah, all things are in motion with that transfer. So I really want to know your thoughts on that sign. And do you think it's a good addition, or do you think we should have looked elsewhere at a younger option maybe? Or do you think this is a perfect addition for what we need right now, who is a player to come in? No real time to adjust, be straight into that team, be superb for us. I think he'll just slot straight in, no questions asked. And of course, I want to know your thoughts on Hatate. Do we keep or do we sell him this summer? If the money's right, do we sell him or do we just keep hold of him? I think we keep hold of him regardless of the transfer fee in question. Again, we don't really need money. And Matt O'Reilly looks like he will leave at some point this transfer window. So if you're going to lose one good player, that's the worst case I want it to be. I don't want to lose two great players as well. But as always, drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.